One of these vans can erase an entire year of retirement travel before you even realize what happened. Here's what happens. Someone spends 6 months watching van tours, they fall in love with a layout, they pick their van based on Instagram, not depreciation data, they pay $89,000 for something worth $61,000 3 years later. That's not a market dip, that's a buying mistake. Ford Transit, Mercedes Sprinter, Ram ProMaster. These 3 vans dominate the conversion market in the US and Europe, but they do not depreciate the same, they do not cost the same to maintain, and they do not hold value the same way. That gap between what you paid and what you'll get back is the most expensive number in van life that nobody talks about. The Smart Buyer Rule for 2026. Smart buyers follow one rule before they sign anything. Buy the van that costs the least per mile of enjoyment over 5 years, not the one that looks best in a thumbnail. That calculation has 3 parts. 1. Purchase price, what you pay on day 1. 2. Depreciation curve, which you lose by year 3 and year 5. 3. Cost to keep, maintenance, parts, and repair bills that don't show up in any listing. Add those 3 numbers together, divide by miles or months of use, that's your real cost. That's what smart buyers optimize. Run that on the Transit, the Sprinter, and the ProMaster, and the results will surprise you. Van number 1, Mercedes-Benz Sprinter. The Sprinter is the van everyone wants. It's also the van that punishes buyers who don't understand what they're really buying. Why some buyers choose it? The high roof clearance is unmatched. Standing headroom at 6'4" in the 170 high roof is still best in class. The 3.0-liter diesel V6 has serious range efficiency. Buyers doing 50,000 miles a year find real value in that fuel economy over time. Real used prices in 2026. 2016 to 2018 with 100,000 to 140,000 miles, $28,000 to $42,000. 2019 to 2021 with 60,000 to 100,000 miles, $44,000 to $64,000. 2022 to 2024 under 60,000 miles, $67,000 to $89,000. The reliability problem. The 2014 to 2018 Sprinter with a 3.0-liter V6 diesel is a known minefield. EGR cooler failures, DEF system problems, emissions issues that can strand you. A DEF pump replacement alone runs $1,200 to $2,400 at a Mercedes dealer. The 2019 Plus Sprinter with the 2-liter 4-cylinder is more reliable, but now you're paying near new money for a van still depreciating hard. The biggest hidden cost? Dealer dependency. Outside major U.S. cities, Mercedes-certified repair shops are scarce. Breakdown in rural Nevada? You're on a flatbed. Average tow plus dealer diagnostic, $800 to $1,400 before a single part is touched. In Europe, this is less of an issue. Mercedes dealers are dense in Germany, France, and the UK, but U.S. buyers heading off-grid take on real risk. Real story. A retired couple from Arizona paid $71,000 for a 2017 Sprinter conversion. Beautiful build. Solar, lithium, custom woodwork. They drove it for 22 months, then a check engine light, then a dealer visit, then a $4,300 emissions repair estimate, DEF injector, EGR valve, and a cracked coolant line the technician found during diagnostics. They listed the van 3 months later. They sold it for $44,000. That's a $27,000 loss in under 2 years, and they never made it to Alaska. That is the Sprinter story nobody puts in a thumbnail. Who should not buy a Sprinter? Budget under $50,000, you'll land in the emissions years, DIY mechanics, parts are expensive and dealer diagnostics are often required, remote US or Canadian routes, the service network gaps are a real safety issue. Van number 2, Ford Transit. The Ford Transit is the van the conversion community underestimates. That's exactly why smart buyers love it. Why smart buyers choose it? 3 words. Parts availability everywhere. Ford dealers are in every small town across the US and Canada. AutoZone, O'Reilly, Napa, they all stock Ford Transit parts. The 3.5-liter EcoBoost is one of the most serviced engines in North America. The Transit also has the most active DIY conversion community on the internet. More wiring diagrams, more tutorials, more used parts for sale. Real used prices in 2026. 2015 to 2017 with 100,000 to 150,000 miles, $28,000 to $28,000. 2018 to 2020 with 70,000 to 110,000 miles, $28,000 to $44,000. 2021 to 2023 with 30,000 to 70,000 miles, $42,000 to $62,000. The depreciation comparison, real numbers. A 2022 Sprinter 2500 high roof at $58,000 is now worth $39,000 to $44,000. Loss is $14,000 to $19,000. A 2022 Transit 350 high roof at $52,000 is now worth $36,000 to $42,000. Loss is $10,000 to $16,000. A 2022 ProMaster 3500 high roof at $46,000 is now worth $26,000 to $33,000. Loss is $13,000 to $20,000. The Transit depreciates less in absolute dollars than the Sprinter and dramatically slower than the ProMaster. On a $52,000 purchase, you lose $3,000 to $5,000 less than the Sprinter over 3 years.
Real story. A family of 4 from Oregon, 2 adults, 2 kids, planning a gap year, spent 4 months comparing vans. They almost bought a Sprinter. The numbers stopped them. They bought a 2020 Transit 350 high roof with 61,000 miles for $38,500. Drove it for 14 months, crossed 31 states. 1 repair in 14 months, a wheel bearing at 94,000 miles. Cost $340 at an independent shop 2 miles from a Walmart in rural Kansas. They sold the van 14 months later for $34,200. Total depreciation, $4,300 over 14 months of full-time living. That is what a smart buy looks like. Reliability. The 3.5-liter EcoBoost has one known weakness: timing chain issues at 150,000 plus miles. Budget $1,800 to $2,600 if buying used over 120,000 miles. The 3.7-liter V6 in 2015 to 2019 models is simpler and bulletproof. The 2-liter EcoBlue diesel in European market transits is exceptional for fuel cost per mile. Biggest hidden cost: the sync system and electronic park brake on 2020 plus models require dealer reprogramming for certain fault codes. Expect $150 to $400 for dealer-only diagnostics on intermittent electrical faults. Who should not buy a Transit? European buyers wanting maximum fuel range. The petrol Transit doesn't exist there. Buyers who need maximum headroom. The Sprinter still wins by 2 inches. Anyone reselling in the premium market, Transit appeals to budget buyers, not prestige buyers. Van number 3, Ram ProMaster. The ProMaster has the best price tag, the most conversion-friendly interior, and the worst depreciation story of the 3. Why some buyers choose it. Flat floor, no wheel well humps. The 159-inch wheelbase high roof gives you a near-perfect rectangle to build in. For converters, that saves $2,000 to $4,000 off the build cost immediately. The 3.5-liter Pentastar V6 is reliable. Parts are not a problem. Front-wheel drive gives you better rear clearance for loading and stealth parking. Real used prices in 2026. 2014 to 2017 with 100,000 to 160,000 miles, $12,000 to $22,000. 2018 to 2020 with 70,000 to 120,000 miles, $20,000 to $31,000. 2021 to 2023 with 30,000 to 80,000 miles, $28,000 to $40,000. The depreciation problem. A 2022 ProMaster at $46,000 is now selling for $26,000 to $33,000. That's a $13,000 to $20,000 loss in 4 years, depreciation of 28 to 43%, and it's accelerating as the market fills with off-lease commercial units. Real story. A retired teacher from Michigan bought a 2020 ProMaster for $41,000, did a full DIY conversion over 8 months. Flat floor made the build clean and easy. She loved the van. 2 years in, she wanted to upgrade to a larger Class B. She listed the ProMaster for $38,000, factoring in her $14,000 build. 3 weeks, no offers. A dealer appraised the base van at $24,500. She sold it for $27,000. Her $14,000 build returned $2,500 in resale premium. Total loss in 2 years, $14,000, plus 8 months of labor. She now drives a 2021 Transit. Reliability issues. The Pentastar V6 is solid, but 2 problem areas exist. First, the FD transaxle under heavy conversion weight. CV axle replacements at 80,000 to 120,000 miles are common. Cost $600 to $1,100 per side. Second, the Fiat-derived electrical system. Non-Chrysler mechanics often struggle with diagnostics. Biggest hidden cost: payload strain. Fully loaded builds hit suspension limits fast. Shock upgrades cost $900 to $1,100. Wheel bearing failure from front axle overload runs $400 to $800 per side. Who should not buy a ProMaster? High mileage drivers, depreciation and wear compound quickly. Anyone reselling after 3 to 5 years, the curve is steep and still dropping. Heavy builds over 1,000 pounds. FD drivetrain strain is a real long-term concern. Expert buying tips. Mileage limits. Sprinter diesel, sweet spot 60,000 to 120,000 miles. Walk away over 180,000 miles. Transit EcoBoost, sweet spot 50,000 to 100,000 miles. Walk away over 160,000 miles. Transit 3.7-liter V6, sweet spot 70,000 to 130,000 miles. Walk away over 200,000 miles. ProMaster, sweet spot 50,000 to 100,000 miles. Walk away over 150,000 miles. Engines to avoid. Sprinter 3.0-liter V6 BlueTech before 2019. Budget $2,000 to $5,000 in deferred maintenance over 100,000 miles. Sprinter 2.1-liter 4-cylinder European models before 2016. Timing chain stretch. Verify service history obsessively. Transit 3.5-liter EcoBoost early 2015 to 2017. PCV valve and spark plug failures. Cheap fix, but confirm it's been done. Best years to buy. Sprinter 2019 to 2021. Post-facelift 4-cylinder. Better emissions, still affordable. Transit 2020 to 2022. Updated safety features. EcoBoost reliability matured. ProMaster 2019 to 2021. Updated tech before the big depreciation wave. Common repair costs. Timing chain. Sprinter $2,200 to $3,800. Transit $1,800 to $2,600. ProMaster $500 to $900. EGR/DPF. Sprinter $1,500 to $4,000. Transit $800 to $1,400. ProMaster $600 to $900. Injector per unit. Sprinter $400 to $700. Transit $180 to $320. ProMaster $160 to $280. Full brakes. Sprinter $800 to $1,400. Transit $600 to $1,000. ProMaster $550 to $900. CV axle ProMaster $600 to $1,100 per side. The $10,000 to $20,000 mistake. Stop. Before we wrap this, the one mistake that costs buyers between $10,000 and $20,000, and it's not the van they pick, it's buying a converted van and pricing the conversion as part of the vehicle value. Here's how it happens. Someone finds a 2021 Sprinter already converted. Solar, lithium, custom cabinetry, diesel heater. Seller shows receipts, $28,000 in build costs. Buyer prices the van at $65,000 and thinks they're getting $93,000 worth of vehicle. They are not. Conversions do not transfer value at cost. A $28,000 custom build returns maybe $6,000 to $12,000 in actual resale premium. The style choices of one builder are liabilities to the next buyer who wants something different. That buyer paid $65,000 for a van worth $38,000 to $44,000 on day one. That's a $21,000 to $27,000 loss before they leave the driveway. How to price a converted van correctly. Step 1. Find the same year, trim, and mileage unconverted van on the open market. Step 2. Add 15 to 25% of the documented conversion cost as your premium. Step 3. That combined number is your max offer, not the seller's asking price. That one framework saves most buyers $8,000 to $18,000 on a single purchase. Final verdict. Here's the honest summary. Lowest depreciation, Ford Transit. Slower dollar loss, strongest parts network. Best for full-time use, Sprinter 2019 and newer. Diesel range, headroom, proven long haul. Best for entry price, ProMaster. Flat floor, lowest cost to enter. Worst resale risk, ProMaster. Steepest depreciation curve of the three. Best for the US, Ford Transit. Dealers and aftermarket everywhere. Best for Europe, Sprinter. Diesel infrastructure, dense dealer network. The Transit wins on total cost of ownership for most U.S. buyers. The Sprinter wins for serious full-timers driving 30,000 plus miles a year. The ProMaster wins only if you're building heavy, keeping it forever, or running it as a conversion business. What loses every time is buying on emotion without running the 5-year numbers first. The Arizona couple lost $27,000 on a Sprinter they loved. The Oregon family lost $4,300 on a Transit they trusted. The retired teacher lost $14,000 on a ProMaster she built herself. Same passion, very different financial outcomes. The difference was the decision made before the purchase, not after. Buy smart. That's what this channel is for.